Welcome back to the show, everybody. We got a great one lined up for you today. Esports, metaverse, and flare, and more on the metaverse. Transitory inflation, or is it here to stay? ECB cuts off relief and liquidity. There's your answer. Kraken CEO calls for a Bitcoin crash in 2022 and a dollar collapse. We'll get into that. SEC, oh my. Whether we're talking about Hinman or Clayton or Gensler, the current chair, the SEC's got a lot of dirt on its hands. And right here, we're going to showcase the best things to come are really highlighted by Ripple here. We're going to cover that. And FSOC, you've heard me talk about it. FSOC, are they getting ready to make a designation for stablecoins and crypto? Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
This is Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Subscribe for new content notifications. Now, here's Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow me on Twitter at BackupBradleyAbove, and everything that we're talking about here today, $2.180 trillion market cap. We are off 2.4% right now in the crypto market cap. Bitcoin, $46,900 plus. Ethereum is $3,900 plus. And Solana is $177 and change. And Cardano is $1.23. XRP, ladies and gentlemen, is 80 cents. Let's take a look at the range of price right now. We are at 0.7804 on the low side of price and 0.8302 on the high side. We will keep an eye on it. Lots of news to go over. Let's get into it. Hall of Famer Michael here tells us about Global Esports Federation launches into the metaverse with a global partner, and it's Flare, everybody. Let me bring you right down here where Hugo says, the co-founder and CEO of Flare Networks, we believe that esports presents a limitless potential for blockchain applications. Together with the Global Esports Federation, we are committed to building a fair, fast, decentralized, and low carbon footprint network where individuals and communities can take better control of their collective futures and experiences, interacting with each other in ways not previously possible. There it is, the CEO, Hugo from Flare Networks. Very exciting stuff. I can tell you this was sent to me by Mark Hoven the other day. I've taken a look at it and I decided to jump into it. I'm loving this metaverse. And I tell you, you guys know, I don't want to play games in the metaverse. I've told you this, but I want to invest in it because I know the rest of the world will. And it is where the world is going. And understanding in my mind that Facebook is going to really acclimate and bring the education and experience of metaverse to social media platforms, which is really intermixing really the virtual gaming experience into social media. And knowing that Facebook touches 3.6 billion people a month, yeah, I'm pretty excited about the metaverse and what it has to offer. Like I said, I don't really want to be a participant in it so much to say, but I want to invest in it because I see the long play here. There is a lot of room for what's going to happen. My digital perspectives, not financial advice. Right now, UFO gaming is 0.000285. Yeah. I think $10 gets you like 70 billion. I don't know what it is, but I'm having fun with it, like a penny stock. Now, there's others I'm into as well. You know, I'm into Gala. I've told you that. And Equilibrium. I've told you that. And then there's a couple others, Decentraland. So I'm constantly getting into it. And not too far from now, I will do a video which is primarily heavy on metaverse information and just getting everybody hipped on that topic. That new, really, industry of investing there, a whole new sector. New York Times economist Paul Krugman said he's got it wrong when he repeatedly called for inflation to be transitory. Well, I don't even have to read you this article because back when we covered it, when he was first saying that inflation was transitory, I said he was wrong, and it turns out he was wrong. Now, listen, Paul's much more highly educated than I am, but apparently one too many books can get you thinking the wrong thing. Got to be careful what you're reading these days, right? I tell you what, you're not reading the wrong thing here. This is the European Central Bank, and they see no need to extend beyond December 2021 with the liquidity relief measure that allows banks to operate. Basically, you cut off. But you know what? We don't have to really read this article because it's that simple. But here's the deal. Couple this with what I have covered in the news over the last 2 days. Russia and China are building a new infrastructure for payments, cross-border payments and settlement. Okay? They've also made the point that they want to get off of the US dollar dominance. They've also made the point that they want to be able to work around SWIFT because of the US sanctions that can be placed against them through SWIFT. Then I covered also the idea and understanding here that the EU seeks to cut reliance on the US dollar and has said they are going to build a European financial infrastructure as well. And I tell you, it's to be more independent outside the financial centers and the dominance of the US dollar. This is a narrative and this is a theme. And I believe some, if not at least in part, this is why Jesse Kraken, the CEO of Jesse Powell from the CEO of Kraken says he believes that Bitcoin will go below $40,000 in 2022. And he is a huge Bitcoin believer. And he urged investors to pay their healthcare tuition expenses early and take on more U.S. debt as the U.S. faces double-digit inflation, the highest in the last 40 years. The CEO says the U.S. dollar will crash, and Bitcoin will see its price fall dramatically in 2022. Pretty remarkable. I don't know if he's going to be right, but I tell you this, when it comes to seeing the dollar crash, you see in Russia and China design systems to be able to work around it and pull off of it and not be as reliant on it for settlement as a global reserve currency. You know, there's over 20 countries. I was wrong the other day. I thought it was 17 and 19 countries. There's over 20 or 25, maybe even closer to 28 countries in the European Union talking about weaning themselves off of the dollar by creating financial infrastructures that can avoid that as settlement. Now think of that for a moment. Let's change gears here for a little bit because we have to discuss this. It's not over. In fact, it's heating up. The attention of the Ripple SEC case, the corruption or appearance of corruption and impropriety by SEC members, and the Ethereum free pass is actually heating up. I know we all want to get past this, but I tell you, we have got to keep pushing on because it is now starting to reach new audiences, and that is what we need to happen. It's one thing when we're preaching to the choir amongst ourselves, but this is to encourage us all. And listen, hundreds of people are joining the channel every day and don't understand what's going on here. Let's level set really quick. This is a quick piece of evidence shared here by Jimmy Valley, who found this. This is from the Securities Exchange Commission responding back to Cipher Technologies Bitcoin Fund. Okay, back in 2019, and this is what they said to them. They said to them that we disagree with your conclusion that Bitcoin is a security, and we think that the conclusion is incorrect under both the reasoning of the SEC Howey test framework and the staff applies in analyzing in digital assets, making a determination in that letter over Bitcoin, the asset. But it gets worse, ladies and gentlemen. I put together this 2-minute clip here, and I think it's a fantastic clip to show you the hypocrisy that is taking place from the SEC, regardless of Jay Clayton's tenure to Gary Gensler's tenure to this day. And you're going to see it in 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Listen.
Legal drama between crypto giant Ripple, which of course is behind XRP, and the Securities and Exchange Commission is nowhere close to an end. And now it looks like Bitcoin and Ethereum may be caught in the fray. What is this about, Charlie?
Everybody's always assumed they're legal, right? Compliant securities, they're decentralized. The SEC does not. They don't have to register with the SEC. The SEC has said as much in a speech in 2018 by Bill Henman, then the head of corporation finance, and in other literature that the SEC has put out. It essentially deemed those two compliant securities. Well, not so fast. I'm reading the literature, not the literature, the court testimony in the Ripple versus SEC case. Ripple has been dinged for selling non-compliant, non-registered securities, mainly its XRP crypto coin. In reading this thing, Ripple's trying to argue that, hey, we're not that much different than Bitcoin. We're not that much different than Ethereum. And what the SEC is saying is, we don't care whether you're that much different than those two. We, at the SEC, have not declared those two compliant securities as of now. Mr. Hinman's speech was his personal opinion. As of now, neither of those things are one way or the other. We have no opinion on whether they are compliant securities.
We've seen a lot of things that people call a cryptocurrency that are in fact securities. But you referenced one, Bitcoin, which we have looked at and is not a security.
So maybe not all, but most initial coin offerings are securities because they're investment contracts where there is an exchange of money. There's a common enterprise. You're relying on somebody else's expertise for profits. This is why I've earlier this year said I think that most of them are. I think Ether, when it was done in 2014, would pass this test. When I say pass, it means it's a security.
So what we're trying to say is we don't see a lot of value in treating Ether today as a security.
And there you have it. And I believe, and not to go out of my way to correct Charles Gasparino, but what I believe he was trying to illustrate there is what we've illustrated here, is that the SEC has said from either Jay Clayton's position, which I showed you, or William Hinman's position, which I just showed you, right, that Bitcoin and Ethereum are not securities. That's what they believed, and that's the way that they guided and practiced and led at the SEC. Right now, as he reported, the SEC is claiming that there is no designation on these things. And we know today, Gary Gensler told us back at MIT at the clip that you just saw, that ETH is actually a security. He's done nothing to rectify and right the wrong between the SEC and the Ripple case against XRP, and to go back and hold Ethereum founders accountable for the fact that they did in fact do the first initial coin offering. Here, there was another position taken again, shared by Jimmy Valley and TAIG here, where this happened in a different report. And this is just, look at this, American Bar Association 2019, given the SEC staff position on Ethereum, not William Hinman, the SEC staff's position on Ethereum. They go on to talk about Bitcoin and Ethereum are not securities. This is the American Bar Association, for God's sakes. Look at it. Unbelievable the mess this has become. And this really takes you right here where you need to be too. Check this out because it sums up what's going on here from this gentleman.
At the SEC, clients with very strong interests in outcomes that they ruled over in their government posts. Hinman even continued to earn $15 million from his previous law firm the whole 3 years he was at the SEC. You're either a horrible lawyer who can't see the conflict of interest, or you don't care because you're horribly corrupt. So you've got the skills or the moral compass, but you can't do this and have both. And when you're pulling in $5 million a year, odds are it's not the skills they're missing. And that is the bigger story of what is going on with the SEC and Ripple. It's not about cryptocurrency. It's not about about Ripple. It is about the SEC, specifically corruption and regulatory capture. This is something that's so much more important than just finance and business and cryptocurrency. This is something that really affects every American.
Absolutely, it does. Well said. And this is our man, Mr. Intuitive, Troomers Only, calling all cars. We need Joe Rogan and Jamie Vernon, who's the producer of the show, I believe, there. And he is calling, and I'm asking all of you to tweet on every platform you can to tag Joe Rogan and Patrick Bet-David to let them know that this is just getting started here. We need them to elevate this conversation to a much higher level to make sure that our investments are safe and that our money is protected. I got real money in this thing, and I know that you do too. I don't want to see anybody harmed. I hate having to come out here and talk about all of this stuff. But you know what? I'm being harmed. What hill did we actually decide to die on here? I got to protect the money that I've put in my portfolio to protect my family and our future. And that's why I'm fighting, and I'm not going to stop until we get the resolution we want. Check it out.
All right, Joe Rogan, the people need your help. You're a survivor. You've seen people survive in the wilderness and in the ring. Now the XRP army needs you. You've been exposing everything this year with facts, what we like to call troomers. They're not rumors, they're troomers. You got to cover the financial story of the century. You need to speak to John Deaton of Crypto Law US. He's leading the charge of 60 to 80,000 XRP holders against the SEC, who did some dirty dealings. And there's all videos, there's all facts, there's transcripts and affidavits. You got to cover this story, Rogan. It's a USA technology, and they're holding it back. They've let other technologies from other countries thrive. Why were they holding back the United States technology? We need to find out. You need to hear it. And you need to ask some questions, Rogan. We need you.
And we do. And we do. Well said there, Mr. Intuitive. And here is some of the things we need outside of just public attention to what is taking place here. We need regulation. And I'm pointing again that Ripple points it out better than anybody here. Cryptocurrency regulation starts with the Eliminate Barriers to Innovation Act, the Securities Clarities Act, and the Digital Commodities Exchange Act. But guess what? We got more to talk about here. Financial Stability Oversight Council warned that it might need to address stablecoin risks if Congress doesn't act first to regulate the sector in its annual report. Where have you heard this before? Going on 2 years now. That's what we've been talking about as FSOC on this channel. Because the Financial Stability Oversight Council has the ability to make decisions, and it does not need Congress's approval, as they just told you right there. And I'm going to highlight this for you right here. The development of digital assets and the use of associated distributed ledger technology may present the opportunity to promote innovation and further modernization of financial infrastructure, which is what the XRP ledger is. But proper regulation is critically important. I want to correct you here a little bit if I could. It's not critically important. It's systemically important. That's the way it's written in the Dodd-Frank Act that I've been shoving up everybody's ass here. This is where we're going, ladies and gentlemen. If the legislature bodies don't give us what we need, FSOC will. And I believe that's why the verbiage was wrong and left wrong. Because if they can't come to some kind of agreement to get the legislation passed to unlock the innovation for the United States of America in the Fourth Industrial Revolution, the Treasury's going to do it. Bad side to that is we don't want to see more picking of winners and losers like we're seeing in the SEC with ETHgate and the free pass. Fingers crossed, ladies and gentlemen. Things are heating up here. That's going to do it for me. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Leave a comment below. Crypto and stable coins are systemically important. Catch you all in the next one.